Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we are joined by 5 very special guests. Today, we have Ian from Rangers FC, Scotland's most successful football club.
Hello.
We have Dec from Rangers FC, Simply the Best.
There we go.
We also have Craig from the very same page.
That's it.
I think he says hello. And we have Blair as well, who is the supreme editor of the channel. Excuse the camera, it will probably turn around a few times during the video. No paranormal shit, it's just me. So let's kick the video off. Ian, we're going to start, we're going to throw ourselves into the deep end here. Could you tell us a little bit about your first Old Firm game and then give us a score prediction for the game coming up?
Well, basically, when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to go to Old Firm games until I was like old enough. I think it was maybe 10. And it was a game where we actually won. I think we won 1-0 with a goal for Jonas Tern. It was like a kind of volley. A bit like, if you can remember back to, was it Ray Wilkins scored a goal at Ibrox back in like the 80s. And it was a goal like that. I think it was maybe 99. Can't remember exactly, but it was a great... I can remember like when Jonas Tern scored, I was like in tears. Just with happiness. It was brilliant.
What do you think the score... What would be your personal score predictions for the Old Firm game?
Well, I'd love to go I'd love to say I could go for a win, but I would have anything apart from getting beat like last time. I'd take a draw easy, but and try and go for the win.
That's fair enough. After Rangers beat Hamilton 6-0, although be it in a cup, do you feel that may give the team confidence to go in charging into this Old Firm game?
It's probably the best position we've been in for a few. Probably the best position we could go as a match anyway, yeah.
So our main goal scorer in that game, whoever that was, that's brilliant. Our main scorer in that game was Joe Garner, who got a hat-trick, but he's not going to be available to play. So how do you think that'll affect the team's chemistry for the game?
Oh, we'll kind of miss his power and he's like fighting, his determination to get to the ball into the back of the net and stuff like that. But we'll have Miller, Waghorn, and probably Mackay there, so we'll still have this same attacking threat. And Waghorn's still been in. He's been pretty good the past few games.
I believe that Blair has a question for Dec.
Right, Dec, my question for you is, do you think we should maybe start the game in a 4-4-2 formation, or do you think we should maybe keep to our fluid 4-3-3 with a switch in front three, you know, like either two formation? What do you think?
Honestly, I think we should probably stick with the 4-3-3 to start with, because it's what we're used to. It's what the players have obviously adapted to. You look at, as Ben said, the 4-3-3 worked wonders against Hamilton, so I don't really see much reason to change it. But again, you obviously look at Celtic's main attacking threat. You think, should we even maybe switch it to like a 5-3-2 or something? Maybe try and think a wee bit more defensively, because I think me, like most other Rangers fans, don't want another scalping, especially at Celtic Park.
I think the midfield's a key battle. I think if you, I don't know, maybe get more bodies in the midfield, we could maybe try and overrun them. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. Again, it's very optimistic looking to start the game attacking. But
I liked your point of view there, Craig. Actually, I like the fact that you said, well, 6-0 worked wonders for us in the last game. You know, it didn't actually have a proper manager. It was Graham Murty, the under-20s coach. However, I do think when you say what they've adapted to was just a formation of 4-3-3, they're not idiots. They are professional football players, and they have to have the flexibility to adapt to any formation. But I do understand that it is hard. But look at Chelsea, a completely, utterly different standard of players and different team, different league. But they changed formation straight away, started winning games. I think that we do have the quality in the team, and they showed us in the recent game to win 6-0. But I'm not so sure to myself as to what the starting formation should be. So I'm glad I'm not the manager at this point in time.
See, you take that game into consideration, but do you really honestly think we played that well? Seriously? Because I don't think we were actually outstanding.
I think the score flattered us a
defending to Hamilton.
I don't think the score was exactly reflective of the game. I just feel towards the end, Hamilton just threw in the towel. And you seen that with the defending, especially the 5th and 6th goal. But I don't know, we sort of defended well, and at times I looked a bit sketchy at the back, but so, I mean, it's always going to be like, I think I said to you, Ben, I think it was during the game, it was the defence that was going to be the worst problem. and then they scored a few goals. But at the time, we were like, well, this is the norm for Rangers right now. It's either satisfactory, God done one like scary, or it's just complete and utter shambles, and it's all over the place.
I think the luck went our way on Saturday. Yeah.
Aye.
Luck went our way.
Yeah. Mark Warburton's random nature of luck in football, but I think when you score the vast majority of the goals in the second half, I think that does display that perhaps the goals aren't very reflective of the game. But I think what it will do for our confidence, it will work wonders. You know, going into an Old Firm game, 6-0. You know, from one point of view, I wish this hadn't happened, this 6-0 win, because now the Rangers fan inside of me is absolutely wanting to crawl out with confidence. But you never know when it's an Old Firm game. The form that Celtic have been on, they may have gone 1-0 down, but they ended up winning 4-1. Yeah, and that's a very Celtic thing to do. They make it interesting for themselves now, don't they? Craig, my question for you: who would you play next to Clint Hill, and why?
I think I'd play Wilson just because the other players like Senderos, as you see in the last Old Firm, he had a shocker of a game. Like, didn't have the confidence to go out. But Wilson, we've got over here. He's used to the team. He's playing with them. Like he's in there. Playing with them.
It's fair enough. What are your last points of view on that? Who would you all play? Because that's quite a big question.
It's like Senderos is a bit like a freighter ship turning, isn't he? In terms of pace, I think Dembele and Sinclair and that would have an absolute field day with him in the defence. I think they did against the 5-1 that she played and got sent off in that game. So that probably proves my point. So I think he should take that game a wide berth. So I'd definitely probably start Wilson. Mainly because I just want to make sure that if we're going to concede, at least we'll have a decent half decent defender that won't tire two goals down or whatever. Because I mean, Senderos I don't even know what he is. I think he's a shadow of his former self, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd agree that Senderos, you know, he's got a sparkling CV, but he never really did shine at any club he was at. You know, before we signed him, he had a handful of games at Grasshoppers and, you know, barely a few at Aston Villa. So not quite sure where Wolverton was going with the signing. It may have been a panic buy, but, you know, as he says, random luck, nature of football, could have turned the other way. But I think that a name that should have been thrown into the hat should have been David Bates, because David Bates, if they'd have played him a few games before the Old Firm, he could have warmed into the position. He could have got a bit of form going into the game. But now I don't see it as so likely as him starting. But to counter that, Jamie Ness did make one of his first appearances in an Old Firm, didn't he? And this is what one of my friends said on Facebook, and I completely and utterly agree with him. I think, yeah, Jamie Ness, he played really well. But it's a different story, isn't it, when playing in defence? And the last defender that we gave their first proper first-team game in against Celtic was Philip Senderos, and that was in the 5-1 loss. So I'm not sure. Yeah. I reckon that whoever's going to be in charge at that point in time we'll probably go safe.
I vaguely remember before we move on, I think it was Andy Lowell that came on as a sub for, I can't remember what player. It was definitely defence, one of the right or left backs. He came on, make one of his first appearances in the Rangers shirt against Celtic in Old Firm game. I'm sure we went on to win that game, or at least draw it, so it's another point, I suppose. Depends on the day.
Mm-hmm. I was pretty critical of that decision there. Like that happened, he was like, why try out the new players in the big match? Give the experienced players, people that have actually...
He's cut it. He's cut
it. He's frozen. Oh, sorry.
We're all saying Kieran, eh?
Oh,
I'd probably definitely go with Wilson.
I think Bates is worth a shout, to be quite honest, because I think if you've got an experienced head like Clint Hill alongside Bates, obviously it'll give him a wee few pointers. And if Warburton obviously saw the good in him to sign him on a permanent deal, he must have some sort of quality. We've got nothing else to do.
But that's fair enough. But Mark Warburton also signed him on the permanent deal. What sort of wonders is he worked for our defence?
He signed Senderos on the permanent deal.
Yeah, but no, Dec, I do agree with you.
Thank God, defence.
You raise a really good point.